Is the U.S. playing a dangerous game of high-stakes chess with Iran, or is there a deeper strategy at play that we're only beginning to understand? What if the crucial Strait of Hormuz, the lifeblood of global energy, isn't as open as some might believe, and President Trump is holding a powerful card in his hand? Before we dive into the intricate details of this geopolitical tightrope, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in U.S. politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures you don't miss out on critical updates like this. Now, let's talk about what's happening on the world stage. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has just delivered a statement that's sending ripples through the international community. He unequivocally stated that the U.S. naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz is, and I quote, very much still in place. This declaration comes at a pivotal moment, as President Trump is reportedly weighing a potential ceasefire extension with Iran. The stakes here are immense. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical choke points for global energy supplies, with a significant portion of the world's oil and gas passing through it daily. Its closure, or even the perception of its closure, can send shockwaves through global markets, impacting economies from Washington to Beijing. Hegseth, speaking on News Nation's Kelly Meyer, elaborated on how the prolonged closure of the strait has been a recurring theme in discussions. This suggests that the issue of the Strait of Hormuz isn't a minor detail. It's a central piece of the puzzle in the ongoing negotiations and strategic planning concerning Iran. The question then becomes, why is the blockade still in place? Is it a leverage tactic? Is it a sign that negotiations are far more complex than they appear? Or is there a genuine security concern that necessitates this continued naval presence and potential restriction of passage? President Trump's administration has consistently taken a hard line against Iran, imposing stringent sanctions and increasing military presence in the region. The idea of a ceasefire extension, while seemingly a step towards de-escalation, is complicated by the persistent blockade. This creates a dichotomy. On one hand, a potential offer of peace or at least a pause in hostilities. On the other, a continued show of force and a potential chokehold on Iran's economic lifeline, and by extension, global energy. What does this mean for the average American? Fluctuations in oil prices directly impact the cost of gas at the pump, your heating bills, and the prices of virtually every good that is transported. Beyond the economic implications, the stability of the Middle East is intrinsically linked to global security. Any escalation or prolonged tension in this volatile region can have far-reaching consequences, including the potential for wider conflict, increased refugee crises, and the rise of extremist groups. The possible outcomes of President Trump's decision-making process are varied. He could push for a comprehensive deal that involves lifting sanctions in exchange for a verifiable end to Iran's nuclear program and a commitment to regional stability. In this scenario, the blockade might be relaxed or fully lifted as a gesture of goodwill, potentially stabilizing energy markets. Alternatively, he could use the continued blockade as a primary bargaining chip, demanding significant concessions from Iran before any ceasefire extension is even considered. This could lead to a prolonged period of uncertainty and economic pressure on Iran, with the risk of miscalculation and escalation remaining high. There's also the possibility that the blockade is being maintained for reasons not entirely disclosed, perhaps related to intelligence on Iranian activities or threats to shipping. If so, the narrative of a simple ceasefire deal could be a smokescreen for a more complex strategic maneuver. The fact that Hegseth felt compelled to emphasize that the blockade is very much still in place suggests that there might be a public perception, or even an assumption in some circles, that it has been eased. This discrepancy between perception and reality is often where the most critical political and strategic battles are fought. Who is affected by this? Iran, obviously, feels the direct pressure of the blockade, impacting its economy and its ability to project power. Regional allies and adversaries, such as Saudi Arabia and Israel, are watching closely, their own security concerns intertwined with U.S. policy in the region. Global energy markets are inherently sensitive to any disruption in the Strait of Hormuz, and a prolonged blockade or increased tensions could lead to price volatility and supply concerns. And of course, consumers worldwide, who ultimately bear the brunt of energy price fluctuations. The intricacies of this situation highlight the delicate dance of diplomacy and deterrence that defines international relations. President Trump has a reputation for unconventional approaches, and his handling of Iran has been no exception. The question is whether this current strategy of maintaining a blockade while considering a ceasefire is a masterstroke of negotiation or a risky gamble. The relatively often mentioned by Hegseth about the strait's closure in discussions implies it's a persistent obstacle or a constant point of leverage. So what do you think about this? Is Defense Secretary Hegseth's statement about the Iran blockade a sign of Trump's unwavering leverage, or is it a dangerous signal of prolonged conflict? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. The path forward is fraught with challenges, and the decisions made in the coming days will undoubtedly shape the future of U.S.-Iran relations and the stability of the global energy landscape. We will continue to monitor these developments closely.